Hey guys, this is Hein and today I will be critiquing Ivo Stoutjesdijk's 1 minute and 7 second solve. I will give more intermediate tips than advanced in this critique. The whole reconstruction is in the description, and if you don't already know, this is how I notate everything. This will most likely be the last critique that I'll do in a while because these videos just take way too much time to make and I can't neglect my other priorities in my life. But anyways, let's get started with the critique. So here's the scramble, and if you don't know, here I'll show whether it's his solution or my solution. So with your star, you had a very easy start. You already had this piece correctly aligned from each other. So what you did here was you did a cream, dark green prime 2. And then when you did that, you did already realign all the pieces by doing a white 2. You don't have to always realign it once you solve a couple of pieces. You can solve all 5 star pieces and at the end realign them. But anyways, here you did a light green prime, and then you saw that the red piece was here, so you insert it like that. And I think from here on you thought that all the star pieces were done, because now you're going to solve the first F2 LPM. So from this point on you did a light green like this, pink prime, light green prime 2, and you brought this piece with a pink 2 prime here. And then the reason I say I think you thought this piece was solved, because the way you took this piece out, you could just do this to take the piece out because there isn't any star pieces, but you took it out like this, which leads me to believe you thought this was already solved, but it wasn't. So you insert it like that, and now you were done with 4 star pieces plus 1 F2 LPM. So in my opinion, a better star solution would have been to first, as like you did, insert that piece, then quickly rotate to here and insert that piece, and then instead of realigning it and then do another move to insert the green, I could have just done this and then this, and that would have solved the star. So from here on you inserted this piece here like this, like that. Now to insert this green piece, there's a much easier way you could have done it. You could have done it like this, and it's very quick to execute. Do this, this, and then this. So there, by doing that, you had no rotations, and it could have been executed very quickly to insert that piece. And now the next pair you did was this one, which you could have just paired like that, but you were at this angle, so you paired it like this and inserted like that. So the only way I would have done this pair differently is do it paired like this and then inserting it, instead of what you did was this. So the way you did it, you had to rotate all the way here, whilst if you were to do it here, it would have been quick and easier to insert. So you just did it like this, and I would have just paired it the other way. The next pair you did was this one, and how you did that was you did like this. You did a pink prime, light green 2, and now instead of taking it over and doing 666, you did a orange prime, light green prime, and then paired it up like this and inserted it like that. So there's a much easier way to pair these 2 pieces. You could have just done this and pair them like that. Now the next pair you did was this one, and I think you didn't see that you could have just paired them up like this. But anyways, so what you did here was you did a light blue prime, and here you did an orange prime, then another orange, grey prime, then you pair them up using orange prime, And here you did an orange 2 and then orange 2 prime. Not sure why I did that, but anyways, from here on you could have just inserted it like this, but you inserted it like this. So for this pair you had a very long solution, but you could have just done this to insert it. The last pair was this one, and I think you thought that this was yellow and this was blue because of the way you paired it. So you did a gray 2 prime, orange gray, orange 2 prime, and another orange prime, and then you pair them like this and insert it like that. And luckily I already had these 2 pieces solved. And then for the last FTL pair you could have just done this. But I know that finger trick is hard, so you could have also just done a regrip like this and then pair it like that. So imagine that this is the same pieces, you could have done that, but a more advanced way of doing it is when it's regripless is like this. So it's like that. So you do the same as me, you do white, then yellow, blue and red. So for yellow here, what you did was you did a gray. So the reason I say gray is, if you guys don't know, if I say gray instead of gray 2, that means you did it like this instead of this. So if you do it in 2 motions, I will write it as 2 moves. But anyway, so here you did a pink, gray prime, light green prime, gray, light green, and now you have these 2 pieces, and you did this and pair them like that. So luckily you had the first 2 pieces solved. So what I would have done is I would have done this pair, and my reasoning for this is because when you have a corner or edge piece in any of these 3 slots, it's incorrectly. So for instance this one needs to go here, then try to solve this pair, because if you take it out then you do more moves than if you were to insert the piece here whilst you're taking it out. So for instance, by pairing this piece, I would have done this, and by doing that, this piece isn't here anymore. So always try to get them out one by one, or because it's way more moves to just take it out, pair them, and then insert. Now your solution for this pair wasn't too bad. You did the you did a gray prime, then you pair them like this, and insert it like that. So try to insert it from, you could have inserted it from here all the way to the back, because now you have to rotate all the way over here to insert it, instead of just inserting it at the back and then immediately going on with your next pair. Your last pair had one of the most efficient solutions, so you solved this pair and you did this, which is very efficient. So you first solved this pair, then this pair, and this pair you paired it up here and brought it all the way back here. The only difference that I would have made is I would have brought it up here, then do this and then pair them. But anyways, then afterwards you did this pair, which was the most efficient way I think you could have done it. But in my opinion, a better way was to first do this pair, because then you could have done this without a rotation, and then you could follow up with this. But otherwise those 2 pairs were very efficient. So next up you solve blue, so you did a gray prime, pink to prime to solve this piece. So the next pair you did was this pair, and you did it like this. You did a gray prime, cream prime, like that, and then you did a light blue prime 2, and then you pair them like this. You had a very weird solution for the last pair, because you could have just paired them up like that. Like on a normal 3x3 you could do the same, but you did this. You did a pink prime, cream prime, cream, gray prime, cream 2 prime, pink. So that's how you paired this pair. So here a better way you could have done this is like this, by inserting this piece and then pairing them, inserting them, and then finally by doing this piece you would have done it like this. And that's a better way to do your second S2L. So the next color you do is red, just like me. So what you did here was you did a gray prime, light blue prime, cream 2 to insert the star piece. So next up you did light blue, gray, light blue prime, light blue, gray 2 prime, and then here you did a cream, like that, cream prime, sorry, gray, light blue, and then a gray prime, light blue prime, cream, gray 2, and then you inserted this piece, which was a very odd solution, but it wasn't very inefficient. So the last pair you could have just reverse sledged and insert, but what you did here was you did a light blue. Now you saw this piece. So here, I don't know why you did this, but you did a cream prime like that, light blue, light blue prime, gray prime, light blue, gray, light blue 2 prime, cream, and then you inserted it. So it was a very long solution for something that could have just been a reverse sledge and an insert. I'm going to do this part in one take and the next part also in one take because your solutions wasn't that inefficient, so it won't help me critiquing every single FTL pair you did, but rather show you a better way how you could have done it. So for instance here, you inserted it here. A better way would have been to insert it here, and the reason I say that is because now you have this pair, which you can pair like that, and then follow it up with this pair and this pair, which can be paired like this. So for your last two sides, first of all you did a light blue prime, so the green is aligned here. Then you did a gray, light blue, gray, light blue prime, gray, light blue prime, light blue prime, and then you inserted this at the back and you realigned it like that, so that you first solve this pair. Just remember always, you don't always have to solve this block and then this and then this. You can first solve this one, or first solve this one, or you can, instead of aligning green, you could have aligned purple and solved this pair, then this pair, then this pair. So just be sure not to go to a strict formula and just do what's the easiest at that time. So your last pair was this one. So I think you didn't see it immediately because here you did a gray, gray 2 prime, gray, but then from here on you did the right solution, you did this. But remember, if you are at this angle, you could also do it like this, because then you won't have any rotations, because you rotate it and rotate it again to insert like that. And the last pair you did was this one. So how you did that was, you did it in an interesting way, I'll say that. So you did a gray, another gray, and another gray. And then from here on, instead of pairing it like this and sledging or inserting, you paired it like this. You did a cream prime and paired it like this, and then you insert it. So I'm going to do the last two sides in all in one take because yours was very efficient. So this is a very bad case for last two sides, because if you were to insert this green, then this white piece would be here, which means you couldn't solve this piece, and this piece would be here, which would make solving this pair hard. So the best course of action here would have been to do a U prime and then pairing this pair like that, then realigning. And from here on you could have just done this to align that one and then finish it off with this. And then luckily you would have had an EO skip and then luckily an EP skip. So yeah. So but overall your last two sides was very efficient. For your last layer, I don't have many critiques because you are a very arc oriented person and you can draw arcs very efficiently. So your last layer was very fast and you had very good finger tricks. So for this one, you did this like that. And then there's one thing that I would change. The algorithm you use for this one is the same one as on Cube Skills, where it's this algorithm. But as you can see, that algorithm, it doesn't technically have a regrip, but it's very hard to pull off. A much better algorithm for this case is if you hold it like this and you do the reverse of the back soon. So it is. So if you see, that can be executed regripless and it's very fast. So like that. But to end it off, you did you've aligned this piece here and you did the normal J-perm. You did it the same way as I do it. You did it like that, and then you did this last CP the same way as I do it. And your last layer was very fast, and yeah, all that you really have to work on is your intuitiveness with FTL and STL, and you'll soon be very quick and soon be on this sub 1. Okay, so let's finish off with the things you need to work on. Plan more of your star during inspection. Try to rotate less. Turn slower to make yourself more efficient. Be more confident in your decisions. Stop doing moves to look for pieces. Try to remember pieces whilst you are solving the cube. Learn better ways to pair pieces. Learn to insert pieces in the back. Practice to not look at the pair that you are solving. And lastly, do plenty more slow solves. So thank you guys so much for watching. I'm sorry, but this will most likely be the last critique in a while. they take extremely long to make, much longer than my usual videos, especially the reconstruction, because the Megaminx has so many sides, you have to go through frame by frame, so it takes quite a while. But as soon as school stops and it's vacation, I'll most likely do some more, because it's very fun to make, but they do take a lot of time. So thank you guys so much for watching. Please like and subscribe, and peace.